boy came over, told him back again with my queen. We are heading to Jinja to do the free walk tour at ImmersionUG. What time is it?
7:22.
It's 7:22 in the morning. We got up at around like 5:30 this morning
Yeah,
just to make it out here on time.
sure. Because the walk tour is starting at 9, but we have to be on time.
Yeah, so check back in with y'all when we get to Jinja. Peace. Peace to all the kings and queens and welcome back to another episode. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and subscribe now, leave a like and a comment. Also, if you'd like to support this channel to improve future content, you can send your donation to my Cash App or my PayPal. On the border right now, we're headed to the post office in Jinja Town on the immersion free walk tour. We just got off the bus, Camp Hollow City.
Main first office.
So we're here.
Yeah, this is Onesimus, ImmersionUG, and we're going to do the tour guide, the Jinja walking tour. We're starting from right here, our great post office, which was really introduced and built in 1906.
1906.
That was an Indian settler's idea to start up this kind of communication way back in 1905. But the whole entire idea and the building was built in 1906, and it was a big challenge to the British, because back then the British were controlling the entire Uganda. But when he suggested the idea to the British, they never saw value or the use of having a post office. But he decided to take on the idea and he financed it on his own money. That was by names of Haj Tamak. Jinja being with a great history of Indians, it was a big challenge back to the British. So when he constructed this, in 1906 it was well finished, and we started using post office and sending letters using post office back in Uganda. They decided to take on the challenge, and they built the building right here, the beautiful Jinja Town Hall. The Jinja Town Hall has a big multi-purpose hall and administration offices of Jinja district, and currently up to now, the main hall is still hired out to the public in case you have a function, in case you have a wedding. The great multi-purpose hall, which was built back in 1958 by the British, it is still in use and it is still functional. And not only this building, but the British went ahead and constructed more administrative offices right behind this block. So there are also other administrative offices of Jinja district right here. And the reason why we start our tour from here is because this is like the main center of Jinja Main Street. The Jinja Main Street is this closed road. It's about 2 kilometers long, but we shall not walk the entire 2 kilometers. So that's why we start our tour here. And not only that, but also having a post office here makes it more universal, and it's well known by most of the people, or most of the let's say the citizens and the Jinja people.
So this is a more convenient location to have.
It's a most convenient location for our visitors who are new in Jinja, and make it as a meeting point. Basically, yes, please. Not really, but I can say, yeah, it can be among it's among the first buildings in Jinja, but there is another one which is the most oldest building in Jinja. We shall have a look at it as we go on the tour, but as I've told you that we chose the Jinja post office as our meeting point because it's well known to the citizens. let's say if you grabbed a boda man around the town and you're like, hey, drop me at post office, it will be very quick and easy, and it's just in the middle of town, of Jinja town. So basically that's it. So we're going to begin our tour from here. We shall walk down the main street, and we may not walk like the whole entire 2 kilometers of the main street, but we shall have a great vibe of how to juggle it out and enjoy our tour, basically. Then another thing, as we start our tour too, there are some places we shall not take pictures. For example, like the police station, because we shall have a stopover at the police station. We shall not take pictures at the bridge. And also, as we're walking around town, we shall visit the market. And in the market, sometimes you may see something interesting, but sometimes these people are not so much willing to take their pictures. But although others are so much willing and they're interesting, because they are so open-minded. So in case someone is not interested in taking a picture, they may not take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in this region, you'll hear much Luganda when we go to the market, when we reach the market area, because Luganda is more of a business language.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, so it makes it so you negotiate easily, and most people are so convenient with the Luganda language. Even someone who is new in town, or let's say is not a Muganda and is around the market area, they will try much to use Luganda for business. So Luganda is more spoken in the market area and those busy areas where business is here.
Okay.
As we're walking on this street, you will realize that most of the Jinja buildings are of old age. That's what makes Jinja unique from other towns, but it's because also of the Indian settlers who started up this town. So the architectural plans of most of these buildings are of Indians, which brings the uniqueness and the beautiness.
So before colonial times, there weren't really any Indians here?
Yeah, the biggest number were Indians who started up this town.
Okay.
And right now where we've started getting into the craft village of, or the craft area of Jinja town. And the craft area of Jinja town has some of the cheapest items and prices compared to other craft markets around the country. For example, in Kampala, there is the source of the Nile, we shall reach there. There are several craft markets around the country. But
is this the only area for crafts, or they have them?
We are still moving on the street. The street we are in is much of the craft village. So let's go here. So we are going to see several shops and several items.
I have a question to ask you. In the past, has this town ever had any problems with the Buganda Kingdom before the colonial times, or has there always been peace between the tribes in this area and the dominant tribe in Kampala?
Back then, before the kind of administrative government that we have, there had never been a clash between Busoga Kingdom and Uganda Kingdom, because they were always not so much in wrangles, specifically because the boundaries were well drawn by the Great River Nile.
Okay.
Because most of these wars that kingdoms had were most especially were boundary wars.
Okay.
This is my boundary for you, India, don't India,
Gotcha.
always stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
Buganda and Busoga, the boundaries were always well drawn, and they will always be well drawn because the Great River Nile is not yet to drawn away or end and dry out. So there was never such a kind of struggle between Buganda and Busoga.
Beautiful art here. It's the national current here, national flag. Okay.
So we've got to our next stop. Our next stop is the Great Source Cafe. The Great Source Cafe has a very good background, Christian background. It was started way back in 1994, and it was started
1994 or 1924?
1924
Gotcha.
was the construction of this building.
Okay.
Then the Source Cafe that is in this building was officially opened in 1997, but the idea was started in 1994 by 5 Christian families which had come to Jinja town or Busoga region for a mission. But when they went back to Kansas, they realized the town they had been to, there was no a coffee cafe, there was no internet cafe. So when they came back in 1995, they were like, no, I think it's high time Jinja or Eastern region get some of the things.
Gotcha.
And the coffee cafe was more inspired because most of the areas in the outskirts of this town, they grow coffee. But people used to grow coffee and they sell it to Indians, not knowing that we can have a fine product called the coffee drink. So until 1997, when it was officially opened, Jinja never had an internet cafe and a coffee cafe. So this place has really encouraged farming of coffee, and it's believed that it has one of the most good coffee. If you're in Jinja town and you want to take good coffee, purely good coffee, this is the right place to be. And
I can smell it too. I kind of want to give me a cup.
Currently, there is also a church behind this block because it's the foundation of this entire thing. So every Sunday, this place doesn't work because there is a gathering for church.
Hey, okay.
And
is that where you pass through there to get to the church?
To go to the church, that's right here.
Okay.
So we're going to continue still in the craft village, as you can see. And then our next stop is the Madhavani building, right in front there. So that's what's up. Feel free to ask any question.
It's a very beautiful town out here. How you doing? It's only my second time ever coming to Jinja though. So this is the first time I actually got to get the history and the knowledge and the information of Jinja. So
I want to say something, bro.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
All right. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Yo, guys, my name is Julius. And
Julius.
I work in Main Street. I'm born in Jinja.
Are these your crafts?
This is my craft. I make the bracelet with the names.
Okay.
I paint the earrings, those paintings.
Really?
I make them myself. I do kind of things, many things. I do shoes, buy flat tires.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have I got more different styles. All these style, make them myself on flat tires. You know, in Africa you have to be so creative. That's how you can make life. So, you guys are happy when you come back. Maybe you can support me something, and I want to show you something. Even
Is this your only? Are you only here?
Yeah, and I have even my painting there, but I'm not yet put it.
Okay, okay.
Be back if I need something.
Okay.
Right. What's your name, bro?
My name is King.
King. I'm Julius.
Yeah, Julius, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. But you look like you have a blood of Africa. Who's black.
All
so
right, man.
cheers,
Nice
man.
to meet
I'll
you,
see you soon, man.
Yes, sir.
I think you come back and take something.
I will.
All right.
The great Madhavani building. Madhavani, when I say Madhavani, in the Ugandan vibe, they just know that Madhavani is a great businessman. Madhavani is one of the first people to have such kind of a storage building. Now, this building was constructed in 1919, and it is the oldest storage building and the only building that is still standing in this kind of architecture look. It has the Madhavani offices, and Madhavani is one of the great entrepreneurs for factories in Uganda. Madhavani came in Uganda when he was just 14 years old from India, following his brother Caridas, who had just come to Uganda 2 years earlier. Now, this building was a tourist attraction back then in the late 1990s, because people would come to Jinja town to see a house carrying another house. Back then there were no any kind of building that would be of this kind of look. Even in the villages, no one would have the knowledge to build a flat. So it was really so much inspiring and so surprising to the people in Jinja back then. And they were always allowed to enter and have the beautiful ambience up there, and the experience to, you know, to have that feel of how do people construct a house in this kind of look. And currently, it still holds the Madhavani offices down and up. But initially, the Madhavani offices were only down, and up was more of shelter for some of the few Indians that were working here. Madhavani right now holds one of the biggest sugar production company called Kakira Sugar Works, which is about 10 kilometers out of Jinja town.
So those are the people who own Kakira?
Yeah, they are owners who own. They are the owners of Kakira Sugar Works. And not only Kakira Sugar Works, but Madhavani has Madhavani steel factories, Madhavani plastics, Madhavani hotels, a lot of things under the Madhavani name.
So they're very wealthy.
They are very wealthy in this country. Okay. And not only that, but he has made sugarcane growing as one of the most economic activities done by the people in this region. Because of the more sugar wanted, people have grown sugar canes to the extent that even a person of a small piece of land wants to grow sugar canes to to sell them and get some money. But it is a good thing, and up to now, still Madhavani name stands. And he has most of the buildings around this Jinja Main Street are owned and are maintained by Madhavani. So Madhavani is a great Indian settler and a great person who has made Jinja great, and the history of of Jinja itself. So we're heading to the Jinja police station. That's our next stop, and we shall be out of the craft area, so we can continue with our journey. So you realize there is.
Do you happen to know why there are a lot of white people in this area?
Yeah, the reason is just simple. Jinja is the capital adventure of East Africa. Why is it so? It is one of the most visited towns in East Africa. One, because of it holds the source of the great River Nile. Two, it's in Jinja that you'll find water rafting. It is in Jinja that you can do kayaking. It is in Jinja that you can do horse riding. It is in Jinja still that you'll find one of the great Indian history. If you want at least one of the great Indian history, you come to Jinja town, and also the good people in the town.
Is it expensive to live here, or is it kind of affordable?
It's very affordable to live here. It's very affordable in terms of food, because Jinja has one of the most wetlands. So that means in Jinja you'll find greens at any time. Greens, I mean vegetables. It's in Jinja that you can find rice at any time. So when it comes to food, Jinja is very affordable. When it comes to accommodation, very affordable. And also it's just a town with a small population, because Jinja is about 520,000 people who live here and work here. Although 35% of that don't sleep in the middle of town, they sleep in the outskirts of town.
Okay.
So
but their businesses in town.
so businesses in town.
Okay.
So basically, Jinja is very conducive to everyone, accommodative to everyone. And that's why you will find a lot of white people coming to this place.
That's interesting. Is it easy for people to purchase land here?
Yeah,
Like for foreigners or
yeah, it's
people
very,
want to stay here permanently?
it's very easy. As long as you provide the necessary documents, it will be very easy for someone to buy a piece of land here.
It's expensive because they know there are many white people here.
No, it's not about the white person. It's about the value for your land. Because
see, in areas, now look at, let me go back to Kampala. Munyenga is occupied by white people, Indians, what and what, Chinese, all from every corner of the world. It's very expensive. So it's very expensive for you to get a house for rent there, even buying land.
okay, I won't say that land isn't expensive, but also it isn't like so hard and radical for someone to purchase a piece of land. Not really. As long as, okay, there are some areas whereby they're well known that the boat, it's an area where whites buy, like it's areas where whites have a lot of land. So it will be a little bit like, okay, it's a fellow white who wants land. So it will be a little bit easy and quick for someone. As long as you can afford the price tag, someone is willing to give you the land. So we are stopping here, not because it's a zebra crossing, but our next point of stop is the police. Now in Jinja here is that when you... this is Lake Victoria, this side.
Yeah, that's a lake.
Why is it like that?
Lake Victoria is this side, Viva Nile is the other side.
Isn't there something in the middle? Right here. There's something there separating from that hill?
Yeah, there is water here.
Okay.
Because now that's actually Jinja prisons.
Oh, okay.
When you
Prison area.
when you do a good look, most of the big prisons in Uganda are built near water bodies. I don't know what science was there by the British, because most of those great prisons were built by the water. Yeah, so now this area we're in will experience more of the dust, but it's because there are now hardwares. Now this is the street where you come to when you want any kind of building materials. You want iron bars, you want iron sheets, you want cement, you want nails, you want water tanks, anything to do with building. You come on this great Oboja Road. Oboja Road, then there is Spire Road. Spire Road now has most of the mechanical garages. You're around this town and you want to get some mechanical assistance, you go to Spire Road. You're around this town and you want some building materials, you come to Oboja Road. Now we are heading to Apia Market. Apia Market is one of the first open air markets in Jinja town. Jinja town. Open Apia Market.
Here.
Yeah,
That's
Apia
what I
Market.
wanted to.
Yeah, then Jinja Central Market.
Heading to the market.
Why do you call it here?
In Apia, I think it's Indian. In Apia, because yeah, it's in Apia, not here. Yeah.
Are these water tanks used for catching rainwater, or they pump the water from the city side?
No, I used to capture the rainwater.
Okay.
Some people do water storage, so you buy your tank and you get your water, keep it in that tank. In case of any water shortages, you
You have your reserve.
you have your reserve.
Okay. Right. So I see them everywhere. Just found 2,000 shillings on the ground. It's my lucky day. It's my lucky day. Just found 2,000. Can I film in here? I can film? Yeah. Okay.
The way you feel in the farmers market. Don't give it a attention. Come to a minute to see.
on the west side of it, the market, and it has matoke, as you can see down here,
People
onions.
here eat matoke so much.
People
People
here
here
eat
eat matoke so much.
Yeah, so much.
What is the staple food here?
The staple food, culturally, the staple food for Basotho is
Mboli.
peanut paste and potato.
Sweet potatoes and mboli.
And both.
Oh my God.
But matoke, just like we have different cultures and tribes around, you find matoke being one of the common food in restaurants. And because matoke, basmati rice, to Mediterranean Sea, it will be totally blue water, which makes it have the blue Nile.
So the White Nile, you said, is from here to Khartoum,
Khartoum,
and
Sudan.
then from Khartoum to the Mediterranean.
It is blue, the blue Nile.
These ones.
Yeah, I know. They stick.
This is a passion. This is passion fruit.
Fruits, yeah.
So actually now our right side, now the other side you see where there's some Boda men
Yeah.
working. Now that's where the rock I'm telling you about. The rock was covering from that side up to this angle where the bridge connected to the other side. So now the low levels, some of the effects of that rock, the low levels of water where people are unable to reach the water.
That side.
Yeah, that side. So when you cross the other side, it's called Bukaya. Now it becomes Bujuka district.
Oh, when you cross the Nile, then that is Jinja district.
Yeah, when you cross to the east, that is Jinja district. Now, a sort of a hill kind of thing,
right.
that is a cliff. Because actually behind it, that's Lake Victoria.
Do you see that?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I can see from all the way there.
the busy kind of buildings and structures, that is Bugungu prison. It is also one of the big prisons in eastern region. So there is a cliff there now. Lake Victoria takes this side, and behind that cliff. So behind that cliff is the route that goes to Entebbe.
Okay.
So you can leave from Jinja to Entebbe.
Are there any boats around this area that you can catch to go to those parts of town? Yeah.
There is one. It's called Vanessa something. That one that goes to Vanessa. Sometimes if it has very nice, modernized.
Is it expensive?